Welcome back. We've been joined in our Abuja studio by William Marfola, Livelihood and Private Sector Manager in Oxfam. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We're talking about food security in Nigeria, and Professor Olufumilaya has mentioned the issue of lack of processing, lack of infrastructure, and indeed, Mr. Asonye here, who is a farmer, a practicing farmer, has talked about the fact that there is no passion indeed to follow through, even though our farming systems have remained crude and manual, nothing mechanized. What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, I quite agree with them. And there are other issues too that we need to look at, in addition to what they have said, that will help farming in Nigeria, particularly addressing the issue of government investment in agriculture to support small-scale farming, because the statistics are clear about the number of small-scale holder farmers in Nigeria, who make up about 70% of the Nigerian farmers. And any policy of government that does not critically consider this group of farmers, we might not reach the mark of food security in Nigeria.
When you talk, if I may come, when you talk about government investment, we do understand there are policies of government. For instance, we have that anchor borrower scheme between the government and the CBN. Is that in any way helping to ensure that the agricultural methods and techniques and practice in Nigeria is taken up a notch higher?
Yeah, these are fantastic programs that government have in place. We applaud government for these programs that they have to encourage farming in Nigeria. Well, when you take a critical look of these on these programs, you will now see clearly where I'm coming from. These smallholder farmers that are the bulk of Nigerian farmers hardly have full access to the services that these programs are designed to offer for them, and so we are still backward in terms of achieving our aims. The concern I have about the investment in agriculture here is about deliberate effort of government to ensure that they meet up to their commitment to ensuring that we make adequate provisions in our budget to address the concerns of agriculture, and not just the budget, but also looking at the concerns that climate change has on agriculture. Government is not doing much in terms of investing or putting down funds to address these concerns that negate our agricultural pursuit in this country. So when I'm looking at government investment, it's about that, and also that these programs that government have must have deliberate effort in terms of addressing smallholder farmers, especially women, who are the bulk of the smallholder farmers that produce the food that we eat in this country.
All right, let me come back to Professor Olufumilaya here. Prof, he's talked about the fact that the program of government, let's use the Anchor Borrower program, for instance, is a good program, but has some fine-tuning that needs to be done. What other policies are there? I mean, you're in the academics. I mean, you do research. We also have NITA, NITA. All the research that's done in terms of agriculture, some of the research has been used in some of these farms. But is there no research as to how to quickly turn our crude farming systems into mechanized systems with as little cost as possible?
You know, the problem with our country is we are not patronizing our own. And most times, people will do what will ease them first. And nobody can say you don't eat every day. My sister here has been talking about passion. Not only are we supposed to be passionate about what we have in this country, the government itself has to be passionate about what it's doing. When we are talking about agriculture, we are talking about, most times our government think of importation. Now they banned importation. Where are the seed stocks, like the livestock animal that have been developed in this country for our agriculture, for our livestock production? Where are the seeds itself? In other countries, they would agriculture means there's a research base into the production.
Don't we have enough research?
We have, but do we have research for development? That's one thing. I was in the office of Professor Bogoro, the third fund person. When I discussed with him, he said, Madam, you are one of the type of person who wants business in this country who is thinking of research for development. People will go outside, they bring all sorts of animals from Nigeria that they know they can't survive in this country because of the tropical nature, because of the disease nature. That's two myths I'm trying to debunk, because I'm a livestock farmer, I'm a breeder. I've been breeding for this country since 1976. In fact, in 1973. I qualified as a breeder, PhD in 1976 in this country. And we have been hammering that this country has to develop our own livestock breeds. South Africa, we go there, we import what they developed continuously for 18 years. They developed their cattle breeds, beef. 25 years, continuous research. They developed their dairy breeds. Now we go there and import to Nigeria. Israel has been working, they develop cows that can produce 40,000 liters of milk per annum. We go there and bring them to Nigeria. When they get to Nigeria, they won't produce 20,000 liters. Not only that, you have to provide the environment that they are used to. We spend so much money, wasting money by the government itself. We are not investing in proper research. We are not establishing companies into this research.
So we cannot attain food security without
research for development.
Okay, but in practically every university, practically, we have Department of Agriculture.
Yes.
We have Department of Veterinary Medicine.
Yes.
We have Department of Biological Sciences.
Let
we even have Universities of Agriculture.
Yes, let me clarify that. Not only do you have those researches and research institutes itself, we only have one research institute for livestock in Nigeria. One research institute for veterinary research in Nigeria. Veterinary is supposed to take care of all the animal diseases and the zoonosis, this one that affects human beings and so on. It's not about that this morning. That's supposed to be their problem. And the animal scientists are supposed to take care of the breeding, developing, improved breeds from those local ones that we have around.